A, B, and C until the recent branch elections were branch chairman Emmanuel branch C.
Okay.
La Harvey Ganya ward coordinator na Harvey Hoti Jefa ward.
Okay.
So and beyond that, I mean, before the 2024 election, my I was privileged to have been appointed by National as the lawyer to Akachi South constituency.
Okay.
Tamichuba imina de kwaba mi o dadrado gede and dadrado mo kemi for the first time in the electoral history of the Republic of Ghana. After NDC po this overwhelming votes and overwhelming majority in the 2024 elections. So ona mon kwaba manya party apa lawyer. Ta nshang wi kenya ase for afo klimo aka mona party ya le Akachi South mon kwaba ma enyi okwena. Of course beyond that miape director of legal Eduji Tamaklo le amachiche lege o don tepe vovodo le aplaunto me those days my challenge during the registration exercise then I represented the party, you know, I was their lawyer. Imiakwa challenge Yokatala was successfully cleared. Plus Mamokata now party ID card, so they could, you know, they could have the
voters
ID card and then to have the opportunity to vote for the party. This and many more other things. But Agba, Emion Funfia, Abaleka Mikata Miana, Pataga reorganization wom. Mia will branch to who can you banava constituency. Mia for Fukamia Daka La Party as she chew a fabu board or dogger than a party. Kaka Malfam of Agba, Afodo Foko Fiami, a Heko Nami, Plum Yoko Fiami Hukaka, Adumio the view Hajiba, a Deco war. Ako do dash na mi o the view ha na wa hojijo na wa hojijo wono dan dong na mi wono anfiama mi ta agba monfoma ma chitrachim aba vice chairman na NDC le Akachi South constituency.
Okay.
But nyaba ma wo fa among veve la doku bobo ma ye delegate na mon popo but man you fa vice chairman. I'm only asking for only 4 years. Na afa na Agbavor ye nyamaten wo do wona kotu adekeke machiatre de jiabe le fene ko na mangwi mawoya na magava gbo no nyam.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you have any over agbana finally ebe ya call agbana be vice chairperson na NDC la Akachi South no to am. Okay. So if you have for the reorganization
certainly,
because election is a process.
Absolutely.
And now you must every step you must get yourself involved.
That is so.
All right.
That is so.
Mia agere wonogbo so far about now 2 minutes are there le NDC ama this New York Atan so far me almost 2 years here. Are you guys on the right track
as a government?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely, we are on the right track because every government is birthed by a manifesto ta afi akwemye dava yikenya 2024 akwa nyedong gbogbo na Ghana duko but nyeba maudi ona mi mon popo ang de cover todo he kanya ngbamye do o waga miele la kporang me 24 hour economy fa nya ngbada kamye do ye le amama Mahamas eke oduja Mahama set up 24 hour economy secretariat headed by Gusitano ye adogade ajagoma asekpe dodo policies to drive the 24 hour economy ojagoma.
Okay.
Now for example, the tribunal bill. For the first time in the history of the country, we have just passed the tribunal, you know, act, awaiting presidential assent. Then, for the first time, a SADE MPP told that is recapping and alignment law. A Semagba 1992 constitution globally common fund 5% of national revenue should be sent to the assemblies as district assemblies common fund. Kake unyaba constitution yagbonyama kaka MPP tova with the sadenya recapping and alignment law. But so suba uchogamaji ta gagbo so se ko labo van assembly o hana ntuoma dadrado agamo move for 8 years. Kam yedong bela opposition body. Na maudi mieva we believe in local governance. In any case, we introduced the concept of local governance around 1988 thereabout headed by Professor Kwame Ahoy.
Yeah.
So that law it can a gauko in this assembly idea. As soon as we came, we did away with all that law. That a gagbobo over an assembly here. Hana ngogbe the door one betting task guard those frivolous and burdensome and wicked taxes so kataka no do come vioji madabe ya obet la fonji kaka na obeta garava cover ofi gadelo fonji through that useless law. Mahama promised whenever he would do away with that law, and indeed the law has been done away with. Those laws have been repealed. Agba no better the 100% will come to your phone. That means that we are putting money back in the pockets of Ghanaians. Now look at free SHS. We have revitalized free SHS. Echa de you only do ndudu pa nya no fudan klo mamne awo agbade elimodo galia. In fact Mahama dujima jiji o mekpo school view gada o video o na dana Mahama. Then look at the students loan plus toyao. Now everybody including America Ghana School of Law, they now have access, they now have the opportunity to access students loan. Enyamono Ghana School of Law about school Vienna, there was no such opportunity. Tananyaba alomama la shu aloka madakama venwo. Law edafu. Eyakla bubuo. Opa for jemiele. Corruption. We promise to weed corruption. Of course, corruption they do kwada kamala nyegbaje which is ekaba corruption. But there are efforts. Oda want to be more recently. Of course, that is environmental corruption. And many others. Want to make a court facing several other charges. Give to Owari, National Service Scandal, Skytrain issue, so Abdul Hanan, Buffer Stock. So we are working at putting the root cause of corruption. And finally on corruption, Mahama Agbavor, the sword of corruption will cut both ways. Na NDC mo, LMPP mo, GFP mo, Elanya the Bezo, Butterfly mo. Once you are found to have illegally dealt with the resources of the Republic of Ghana, you'll be dealt with in accordance with the laws of Ghana. So we are on course.
So on a scale of 10 over 10, any ana would you do?
Oh, not less than 7.
Not less than 7.
Sure.
So be specific. Whether it's 7, 8, or you are never not less than
yes.
If you have 7 and above.
Absolutely.
So let's be specific.
I'll give 8.
8.
2 more to go.
2 more to go.
Sure. To make it 10 over 10. Yema karajiba kaka Mahama per mandate na wung on 6th January 2029 kwa.
Yeah.
We should be never maudi mon popole. I'll come back here. Then you pose the same question to me. Now man will answer by the end of the 10 year of John Dramani Mahama.
Okay. Nobody say no can you say.
Asa onya dodo eka amagbato award yin tofa agba no fa dadien. Eka mawo hehe amade awo sekwe dodo dara magbaton.
Yeah.
So na Genesis chapter 1. Alo Genesis chapter 3. Mawo globedi. Alo Genesis chapter 3. Obedi eka mawu awo hehe amangu kata. Yo kpoba asung de ka ya we kanya amagbato. Yo amagbato da yin ton for no Genesis chapter 3. Yo amagbato vo Bible ba now a sekle dodo ba wozodaji. La kpodang me asa de kanya ba achikuche chadela abo alo Garden of Eden, in the middle of the garden. Moga duo, moga kashimu. Ase nyama, ase ka mawo ye nyama. Ye mawun ton tope hekama wo Bible na minya ba nke commandre. So he used 6 days and on the 7th day he rested. Ta nke kada shia de kle nyuko wona asekle dodo we ajong maunchi. Ta asekle dodo ko aseko enya dodo ka le amagbeto fomanchi hana ifa dadie no pa zozonwe enya se.
Ta watu awo sefia ikema tanwa zorejiwa.
Oh yes.
So never zore siajo.
That to her early do.
It too early.
Yes.
All right.
Ta ase de shia de he ko wo alaba to her nanu. Tananya bo sada and there is no corresponding sanction or punishment la. That law cannot work pursuant to Article 19.
Okay.
Like podang me. Nanya ba na baba na mafoto na Jonathan Fia, it is assault. He assault mungre daranyi ba nanya ba mafoto la maja je kanya assault mayimo jing de kaw.
Yeah.
Kaka do kungre dari ba na mafoto is an assault. Kana mafoto ulong ko the police station ni. Yo klonko ko the court. Yo bu form de leki ogafia hatunam. Because there is no punishment.
Okay.
So that is what Article 19 says. But as anything that is criminalized must have a corresponding punishment or sanction.
Okay. Le miafa Ghana do come, we have the 1992 constitution.
Precisely.
But bien be a semo kemi ko daragban le mama. But global 1992 constitution. Mi o mdo jibia.
Mie wo magbaba a bla aw. A in the sense be a sema ye mia guide him na mia pa zoni zozo abadu ko ena. Aw in the sense be a sapa kpado lia jigada mia danalaji and mia danalaji because I'm a gbato mienya. Ta flachi ma wo Yehowa ye ka wo jipo plan gba ye ka o mia wo magbato yakwe Bible ba e pochocho re kemalangu kaka ba magbato wo na e pochocho le mia ta mia danala sojido ya ta mia dala soji ha do bubu gala sama bana dala saji fi ko la bok lo ko yi to ha ko la bo nawo na wanya kpodang na ama bubu wo ba yawo we alo we ya komi magawe ama we alo we ya davia fi magawe angdodo ya
davia bana jago kwa aje wa hatun.
Absolutely.
All right. Mia Agbavor the substantive issue agbo inanye the tribunal bill.
Yes.
Ba bienye be tribunal enu anyi kpo a na nye bo liare what is the current state alo ele yo no anyi chan ye vavan fi alo to asito tro viaro vavan
Tribunal enu anyi kpo
le fa kama.
In fact before 19 ba na 1992 constitution article 142 143 he ka pungcho miapa court system alo the judicial system anwa a pungcho tribunal.
Okay.
So the tribunal is part of our judicial system of Ghana. Ye anonyi hakpo several years to PNDC time kata tribunal anonyi. Kaka tribunal mo ka anonyi a. Over Kwebe, there were human rights abuses.
Okay.
There were human rights violations. People's rights were abused. And a job because a sekwe dodo va vandeke ma regulate over a door now.
Yeah.
Ta ado te fada bukeka the whole tribunal system became defunct. America maga tribunal zamo. Ta mieva the main court system zam. Okay. And the main court system we are talking about district courts, circuit courts, high courts, court of appeal, plus Supreme Court. Kaka tribunal system, although the public tribunal it remains part of the laws of Ghana. Kaka dokoe miega activate you.
So what's the difference between the Supreme Court, appeal court, plus the tribunal?
Ta abale magbena district courts, circuit courts, high courts, court of appeal, plus Supreme Court. What we need the main court system, court structure.
Okay.
Ta no nemba the courts of Ghana kwa. We are talking about district courts to the Supreme Court.
Okay.
Now, le sangwa tribunal is part of the judicial system, but it is not a court per se.
Okay.
Yata ipan call vovodo, but tribunal. Now, le sangwa le 1992 constitution angwa tribunal yakula high court angsa de kailo shi alok pekpe de kailo shi. They have the same jurisdiction.
Okay.
Kaka miega ozamu. Yena po tribunal system a moyo kono na the tribunal ji abe hondrola we na o to vovona miapa main court system la kpodang me magbaba high court yakwe tribunal pekpe de kailo ngsa de kailo shi. So for example nanya ba na high court ba judge de ka ko preside na nanya criminal case nanya a case tried summarily. So we have two types of trial. Criminal trial high court. We have trial by judge and jury. Alo mi na ba jury trial. Alo we have a trial by judge alone. Imi na ba summary trial. Agojeja do li na ba na jagoma wa. No kloko kwa da fo judge de ka kwa nyi no gada agojeja maji. La porang ma. Oba na fifi. La porang ma. Oba na dedevi machi bo which is defilement. La porang ma. Oba na va de mi chuba va de nyong mo da bola. Ifa he ka manlon. That is rape. Nanya ba na yia. Alo even armed robbery plus stealing wa judge de ka kwa nyi no gada ji de anyaji. Emi ona ba summary trial. Kaka me chubo eva woman. Allo yeah, so let's say murder. Murder a sag globally. Ala ba amabubu da wakpada ngu. Amama wo na ba jurors.
Okay.
Ta amama wo okpakpagara jejang afi wodro nya. Yata magbodo ngbe criminal regime in Ghana la, it is either tried summarily or tried by judge and jury. Immediate jury trial.
Okay.
Now, cycle judge si one the high court manuel tribunal ashi kaka tribunal pa do nyaba amomaton.
Okay.
Amomaton, you know na nyaji. There is the chairperson of the tribunal. Bla amoma vabubu wakokokpada onchi. Nso kala tribunal shia, nso kala high court shia, nso mano yele tribunal hashi. Tananyaba and again, nanyaba ne the high court. Let me have a court system near the high court, in a loose case, in a be our appealer I got a court of appeal. No court of appeal, no a judgment out of him you know Canada Supreme Court. But a bandia my win case out of again. So the title of the case is Lord Agbavor and 846 others versus Dr. Isaac Bampo Ado and Clocksack. A couple of years ago, so we went to court before I left the law school. Today, decision has been rendered. Question too much.
Yeah.
Now, the same with the tribunal system, mama. Never tribunal a judgment. Alo chofia nanya. Ye mother koba aho afia ucho ye masegomo alo majujina yo. You also appeal to the court of appeal. Aber high court then.
Yeah.
Never the court of appeal. Majujina wa you go to the Supreme Court. Gakperengwa, which is the final one on this matter. Nanyaba high court a drop on water. Ye na koba aho. Instead of you either appeal, you want to invoke the supervisory jurisdiction of another court. But when we withdraw, no freedom, man appeal. So there's a difference between appeal and then invoking the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Ta mechoba taflachilo, I mean le podang mehe. Mechoba wunti me panyaka judgment e ona nyicho. Mechoba judge da for the ma da for you afi utofia nanya. Manya appeal kokokola boy yafi after freedom. Na biara appeal the court of appeal. Kaka atafu do the Supreme Court straight.
Okay.
Then you complain of what the High Court did. So you invoke the supervisory, not the appellate, the supervisory jurisdiction. Like the Supreme Court, you come to the court to kata jilagana. Kado ko no egero bo a complain about High Court therefore that man you tano freedom. The same way, tribunal system ake panya glom yele fia. Na tribunal ha glom do de alo dronya de. You can run to the Supreme Court to invoke the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court.
Okay. So the tribunal bakpaji amamaton.
Yes.
Zimano la klama vabubu.
Marakuye.
Bakawe appoint na mama.
Chief Justice.
The Chief Justice.
Yes.
Okay. So if you ever no kwa the tribunal system ali plemi ho manya nu ye yo.
Ali plemi ho manya ye yo nyo. Tamo yo kali dong babang ye yo nya o ko conveyor. No no ba 1992 constitution but tribunal system amala fmo ha. Ala fma.
So ayo lala the new one you can come levy already if you have mezamu. Yeah, can come levy which is me the tribunal bill 2026. Yes. Zuga te o convedo.
Ta akpo high court. Egba high court as we have it today. If a jurisdiction allow enya court aglo enya sogbo every case goes to the high court. Unless constitutional interpretation under Article 130 of the Constitution allow enforcement of the Constitution. You go in the Supreme Court. Kake criminal case, any form of criminal case, the High Court has original jurisdiction. Any matter bordering on human rights abuses, Article 133 of the Constitution, High Court. Any civil case, in fact, never you buy one plot, allow half plot crawl should be either court at the High Court fan. The High Court system as we have it today la enyo sobo keso lefma do lefma fi ojim kesa me hola ma ho nyi twela ho me o ma oja kesa go 1966 afo oja go ma fi danye plafo nyo over jeshi ononyo 1966 Justice Doche ye jago ma Doche nya lawyer ka Doche ejijo law practice as a lawyer either judiciary ever return you as a judge. Justice Honyanuga, like practice mokata over top mavaye. Justice Gaiwu, ekele Supreme Court fia ukata no case magic as lawyers afi over do myom ya chigba. And it is because the main court system are asogbo that public tribunal bill yake introduce mulefia. A case ado hogel high court ashi and they will be exclusive to the tribunal. For example, narcotic cases so tana narcotic case me chuba mada ulla mada kle wi cocaine klo to malaba na the main court ale high court to me ko the public tribunal because now the public tribunal will have exclusive jurisdiction over narcotic cases. 2 income tax cases so nanyaba tax nyao mado lebo he ajogado na duko alo duko lebe do hi duko du ajogada fa fela madan ya mama hiyo na bia ye duko ma hiyo na bia court. You don't need to go to the high court. Then minerals act alo minerals related offenses aba untumi odam onyicho nanyaba se adodia untumi amkloga ko the high court o okloga ko the public tribunal na ovagbonya ta eyawo wonya nseke unanam tribunal bananya ba mara jagoyo opakpa de a where the public tribunal la alo tribunal system anova gbronya meganya high court o.
So ayo lala nuyo ne yofia amagaro mese agome vayo. So that is susumata o lia domdo. So babienye be mio abe lawyer wene nuka wo mi wo na ikadi fia be maybe at least amaru na nya say yo adadi ala makare gibene be miakata de mienya mi me gano wuli dombo eyi klekeme ogbona maybe amuloga korefima one of onu dromi de maje ya na ebe de minya me gano wuli okata domo. So do fia be mianto ha mi meto nu fa fia wo mba duma vi na kplo mi do le nu yo wo mi le mo
Magbaba abe miape lawyer o miape body alo miape organization kemi na be Ghana Bar Association afi he ya kemi ga form ni choya there's a new association. I've just forgotten the name, but Ghana Bar Association kominyacho aha makboba anya miape do dashi ba miava afian du koma view no nya ba nweji me ela ba esepanya taflachi na manyang chunwo mo gbloni o kaka miawo mo ka mia do kwe yomba nya lawyer wa ba miape do dashi onya tafma ku hiadali kaka chofma besides that National Commission for Civic Education e kanya jiru do fa do fa won fa do dashi onya ba onang fiafia na du koma view no se yata majiba ma ado economy ba miena ba gbafang fiafia ajivan and you deserve a lot of commendation because through this platform we are reaching out to millions and thousands and millions of people not just in Ghana but across the globe but not saying we are goma. So yes, I take the fault but we as lawyers there is a lot we need to do to educate the public and such other governments and quasi-government institutions charged with the mandate to educate the public. We need to carry out this education.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the next one enyebe eyi mie enyayo kata gloma Ghana mie hia tribunal ya fifila ya. Mie hia.
Oh, mie hia ho manya fifila. It is even late in time.
Okay.
We need it.
So, if you have nui ke se wata kome to woncho. Ne do duklo labe kolonje ato kwenye wadasite kwa keje do.
Ato kwenye wadasite.
So legal cases are to anwanyi ka maybe America varobo okay this narcotic minerals pletomo yo ke o jebe tribunal na gerema yo fo okay no ga ko case o bu ko pina wa ademi agita no tro ile se wata kwa wa tro asile wa fia tro ko gbo abale ke mi pele the human sexual was any right for LGBTQ+ no mo
so first of all nanyebe oko bill as at now, it's a bill. It's not a law.
Okay.
So
votutu kele ameva domo.
Votutu kele domo nyabedi. Ba nanyabe esacho either ministry ada either cabinet. Cabinet va to ngoma hukbala mahu ba eseba yode ya. Cabinet va to bala mahu dashi daji. But esayade. So let me go back. Esaya the sponsor of this bill is the Attorney General.
Okay.
Attorney General for department ta oko serve. Ta ngloge wanye nkwangara gbanaji okuka da cabinet na cabinet va to mavo yo dash daji vo ka Attorney General kogave through the committees of parliament then goes back to parliament.
Okay.
At na over parliament oyo ne ba bill manya sa da ko who Parliament not to on her first reading, second reading, third reading, even goes to the committee level and all of that. Pastor week abani cho ahiafoko Gavo yo jikpoji by je talk over the bill has been passed. Even at that level, ahiafo sitting in the chair of the Speaker of Parliament, but the bill has been passed. It still doesn't make it a law until Sagboba Dukwala na dashite. Dukwala na dashite vokovo. A trozu law. You remember presidential assent.
Okay.
Tana Dukwala na dashite vokovo. Que trozu esse.
Okay.
Ta voto to le bill. Le law duma.
Okay.
Yenya. So as at today, as we are discussing it, we are discussing the bill, not the law.
Okay.
Because the law is not enforced yet. Now, nanya ba yida Dukwala bo. Abaleke this LGBTQ bill, human sexual rights bill, man. Constitution Agbavor de. Nanyaba Dukwala bobe a pochocho de lung yatai yamateng adashitoa. He has the right to refer it back to Parliament. Onglok banak badeng. Mala ba kufaro na wama wo. Yeah, issue letter remember season disease tadi Dukwala atiang globa ya dashite la ya hodaji aloyen lodaji atiang globa aho no ga utotrodo once obono utotrodo no ga da parliament ala boga to wana bubu odo mo hu afia ga trozu ese
okay
kake gba gbodi nsa yo kalo wana toheuke ese ananam public tribunal bill but power enyo mi jogo magbo there is always room for amendments. If in the course of operationalizing the law, it becomes expedient, but amendment, that is why Parliament exists. We always go back.
Okay. So, le wonyano, if you have a nenyaba odro nyade nam le tribunal, yeme Georgie namwa, I can go to
Court of Appeal.
A Court of Appeal. Nenyaba, nyemedia ma Court of Appeal, ma tonat food wa the Supreme Court.
Marekue, kaka ima magbodongo ebe, vovototo loma vaduma, enyado lia, I got appeal straight. Kaka nanya ba majibi I appeal. Yeah, because do here Africa Africa o deda ngule tribunal la. Manya ngunya na kokwa appeal in the Supreme Court just as it applies to the High Court. Na the Supreme Court manya appeal organ na lafuma.
Okay.
You are going to invoke the supervisory jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. Ala bananya ba na chipo Court of Appeal ta in the Supreme Court straight with an appeal matter they will sack you.
Okay.
Yes. There are layers and hierarchical structures in the judicial system.
Now, the bill, does it safeguard the independence and impartiality of the tribunal members?
Absolutely. Open appointments. Open appointment like appoint to achiao, afio job door, open retirement, open ganyao. They are even accountable to a committee. All of these things safeguard their independence and their partiality. Again, Akpo Billy Afanya Glomila. From 1993, a Demagbana Court of Donna, remember the Court Act of Ghana. The Court Act. That the Court Act of Ghana 1993, ye Demagbana Court of Donna. But for the first time in the history of Ghana, we are passing the Public Tribunal Bill. Ihanya aseka bona magbadagana tribunal ya fa dona tamanya ba nkonye kwano yamako leke hwa ojashio na nawe. The modalities, the very work, the management, the payment, appointment, including the revocation of the appointment of the members of the tribunal, it is clearly spelled out in law. Again, in accordance with Article 146. Abaleke onye get to talk on Nichoya. A second do you already. The same as second do you conya shaloto, seclam over ye. A second do Mahekala Article 146 of the 1992 Constitution. The Public Tribunal Bill retaining. But any of the members of the tribunal, panel, you invoke Article 146. Maybe on grounds of incompetence, infirmity of the mind, of the body, any act that brings the reputation of the tribunal into disrepute, and so many others.
Okay. So the next one mostly there is a concern from the minority. That is why if you are passing Yanton Odugo, New York your minerals, narcotics, pletomo tribunals will not handle. A matter for work in a way is going to be like political prosecution. Element and man.
Nyanya wa dashire you. Kakade akwaba the chamber of parliament is a political chamber. That is why we have NDC, we have MPP. So there's a correlation in that parliament. Tami dashile ufanya wa for footballer ho NDC MPP footballer ho fu ho. Kakade abale amagbe na nyaba na kpo nso kanam asala public tribunal la. Ufa do na wa nyanya makpo political nanakadako. In any case, why are we crying why are we crying wolf? No such dovo. If you put politics nanalama, then we can raise it. But until then, what is the basis of politicizing a law that is aimed at advancing the judicial system of Ghana and decentralizing the judicial system of Ghana? Why do we have a problem with it?
Okay.
I am for it.
All right.
Never problem. Never me jagomovo. You cook yavadi. Do hina maunami agbekpela masa. Magabona o studio afia no magbo nobody awo. Alemio mamakwa manyu. Alemia wo do lanchi.
Okay. So the tribunal bill very soon overthrows the law.
Sure.
How is it going to help in the fight against corruption, galamsey, and other activities you can handle? How is it going to help in fighting against that?
Ba nanya bo trust the law de. We can majemia adejesi but for the first time we are going to have a specialized system for galamsey cases.
Okay.
Afo galamsey galamsey has ravaged this country and has threatened our very existence as a society. If you kono galamsey womle taflachi oji the vioko oji atomaloshi amyeside nkumaloshi afomaloshi abomaloshi plan bubo kakade dedicated court system ada kemalifia a punish galamsey walayo. But for the first time di dukwolara gbobade awo enwia nya o nyo magba topu makata ba Ghana to nyekwa na totroga gbadakata elebe mia fight which we must hold the bull by the horn. That is number one. No law le galamsey wama manyabo kokko the main court system make case so le zanho be egba obano yi no va gba cho ba adjournment to awo ya no kokko na the tribunal you doc nyaba galamsey cases enya mamla wa make tribunal. So it is going to it is going to aid in the expeditious trial of such galamsey cases. Then narcotic cases
me akpo galamsey to that nanya cases are all court fifilai based on galamsey. The moment du plola da si essay take allo da si biliato trozu say koko don kwa o case mo katan ko ga no bono gerem
ta nanya be ubo we na ma elebe essay akanya say ya yento na provision ma daranyi.
Okay.
So la podang me clause adono na asado mo na ba savings clause, savings and transitional clauses. What ya the sadagba asana gbobadi nyo katan ayina jile asabu bodo pang setia ayase yakava yahui de mazon bang mokatan yahui as though ngodo exactly as though yanto onyena tananya provision only then we can move those cases into the public tribunal system.
So currently provision mamaliwa
I have not seen any such provisions.
Okay.
But it shouldn't even be a problem. But to me, sometime in October last year, you arranged to me the court on this issue. Less than 1 year. To me is not in jail. 20 years. We have done well as a country.
So the other offenses, they let me handle it.
Yeah, so
if you ever still laying a blow, galamsey tokwa, we'll go on that same target.
Exactly.
All right.
Then another one, for example, offenses which involve economic fraud or loss of state funds or property and offenses against the state. Right? Yoko, remoacha dominion view. For example, to me gala court fear facing some charges in Exim Bank case ma. Tanaba tribunal billiard over fi Exim Bank case ma o charge to me fi am yakoga ye nyama. Ya taide makboba to boba high court, the court system as we have it currently, na polika o don ora for door. In fact, almost every week, ora cases all court. Oji yin manye nya view. Kaka gama piado ko nanao la court. Ala ba manya case mo de ko la court. There are other cases. Kaka nem yo court dash na tribunal de. Tribunal nya ba case mo ko nya pa case ma. Tananya ba oja case agoma from 9 o'clock in the morning to 4 p.m. ha. Wonya ba case mo de ko la court. Bubu mo gan monye gbanya yoga bo mara photo mana novia mara fifi mara joma klo to amomo gagbona amo hagana case mamla o.
Okay. So finally afimi ada sila kwa mi agere untumi fa nyajia. To the ordinary Ghanaian, I mean, to don't feel like me ekpo the way a minority behave walking out of parliament. Majority are okay, they've passed the bill. Like within 2 minutes, like this tribunal bill agoma degene the ordinary Ghanaian be watanwa segomo.
We imagine magbonya ba mi pa todo lao no segoma ndo ya bade wong do drop asito treke won du call he kanya bill ya gbanle ko ko da parliament ni choya abale mi nya na nya ba ne da court gba na yi court ko bo o hon kaka na yi court ko ba me ma vaw na yi court ko ba nwi jo anya so gba da court amanya nya view. So ga corpus a high court, there are over 500 cases there. So ga corpus high court alone. Now so ga corpus circuit court. Manyang view nya jojong la fuma.
Okay.
And all the courts I have roamed, I've had opportunity to roam in several courts in Ghana. My cases get the courts get the new jona afu manya nya view. Tade mi majiba mi pa todo la na se go menya bedi. Asaye ye heka kuda mi pa won draw nyawo chi heka edu pola mahama ko convict alo jiru do ko convict ya. Do one plus so bedi. Mi pa ngade ka gbagban la miang e kana ba nya joko mi da court ko yina va ko hu babli ko dedi ko watana gbaton ada ko vano gbagbon la manwo dodo ya do va vambadi anya no da court ko block aba fika to hala ko hatu na makaba no hatu na makaba ko anya kpodang na mabubo ni to hatu na wuntumi a galamse dollar do o video gba a o nya na me ka yo fu yo fa gba no yo jobo yo waji dobo no yo wo anya ba na do la nya la ho nya kpodang na madobadi mi ana wa ma ato halang. You see, justice delayed is justice denied.
Yeah.
When cases prolong so long in court, people lose trust in the judicial system. Amo pa jikosa eka akuda mi pa judicial system adina potona tade asaya eka okobefia eka minority MPP tobo yo mo dasire ji yo kaka o fashi madama daji pe o do la parlementa afo vovoy do vovom ala ba nyaolongza na po ora tamika mahama o form ora committee na po nchocho ko hoto du ko ma vi ogbo o sogbo la ka gbagba manya ba MPP to maroli na azado we da baji o de tara baji a mo dona lon no tama bomba bakagbo han yo jidoga tade asito tre won du pola pe ejirudu ele fia bo wa kpada du koma vi pe adu on top ngogba yi ya pe edokwe.
Yevanya selo ma jadong ple lawyer Lord P Agbavor Jr. kude the tribunal bill ka opa suncho abale me egbule na odongo ba ye na mi amaro ya la pocket one akomienya ne mi komuna bokon GVV so amayone etere esagbo ye ma efa nyama de dem fia be New York the tribunal avawa etovovo so America vovo magala mareko ke cases adoli la ye ko handle goal so mia agere akpama Akbavelia yenye untumi pe enya. Cancel. Ma abiao. Miama gede o miema to follow untumi pe nuya o nyu. Abale ime bledongo na manovu megba amarobo ode untumi ala be ode untumi mo ala be eku sikare majeji maro ho be figana pe ga. Nuka tututu untumi wo afi o to ne this 20 years imprisonment.
Yo maraku akpa maraku de. Ma
I chip in
something.
Right.
Mi pa jerudo mi over ye ho. Ma je man nane mi pa tudo la no sebedi. Do ma minority MPP to do la parliament ni cho. Nda ka ma je mi na mana mi asego me nyeba. Le committee level e ke bill ma public tribunal bill ida committee. Ye committee a ono nyi dan e ke committee a akpak level NDC to la committee a MPP to lia. Committee report aba the committee unanimously endorsed the bill and recommended same to the plenary.
Okay.
Committee
over dogo le michoko ba over dogo le oyonto nwani abe ha chuchu suara.
Ha samatoma.
Okata
odasireji. Mara kema jaglan. And nanyaba na kwalika parliament wana do ejigeda. Nanyaba committee o dom akparo bo yumolon. Ungona minority report. Ungona majority report. But for the first time on this bill, it was a unanimous endorsement. So why the hypocrisy?
Sukata ogo dogo. Do fiaba amoyo ke ne da sireji le committee level la. Umeba demena amoyo ne le preliminary ye we be o dogo alo leke.
It is called hypocrisy. Double standard. Onya yo wona nene du akwe drama football ko no popon laugh ma yo wona nene du ko maju no kpo be yo we global. But you agreed at the committee level.
Okay.
So why come and do all of these things? That is double standard. That is hypocrisy. Public tribunal bill Now coming back to me.
Yeah.
And we are joining each other.
Afi mi agere to me here.
Yes.
Message are over so ma ahlo mi akọ.
Merakuyo.
Okay. You are doing justice to the topic, Lord. Thanks. This is coming from Jonathan Joe Elikem. And then the next one, Kobe, watching you live from London. I want to help 5 people today. Okay, that is okay. Interested should test me. Okay, we will do that after the program. Then my greetings to you from London. Me the message master. This is also from Kobe Lord. And then I'm listening to you. I love listening to every programs from you guys. And then good afternoon. Today is my birthday, so happy birthday, Master Christian. And please, there is still a lot of work to be done. Me the message matter. So the rest, let me buy Imamia and convey the karaka. So me are getting to me penyago cancel.
Okay. Maraku ba majivana mianabe unto me penya amomaton. You clock the court.
Okay.
Amomaton you o charge. I'm a banto yenya Bernard and Chibuesiaku unto me.
Yeah.
I'm a Vavelia and your Kwame entry. Kaka Shila Yang Yamolio.
Okay.
He's at large. Basadagbe. Tamono cut out drove. I'm a totalia in your company. He can have Akunta Mining Company Limited. He can want to me per company.
Okay.
Now, let me say Gomala.
So, do Fiamba Watewa company ha koko ide one.
Madakue and Mamadagaki.
Okay.
Okay, well, maybe Madomang Patafimia Gatre Magba. Nanyabe le sangwa, nanyabe amade ever register company a. Le sangwa company a le vovo. Na make a register company a.
Okay.
A company limited by shares. Allo limited liability company. Ta le podang me enye Lord Agbavor. Na me va register Lord Agbavor company limited a. A sabadi enye me le vovo. Na company a. Ta company a atia kloma koko ide moy. Ama atia aklo company a koko ide moy. Company atia doga la yin ton topen koma. Atia wunga de la yin ton topen koma. E ka nya Lord Agbavor nya mama no go.
E vo ha wodo do fa.
Nya tafe kaka na nya ba mi nya ho gbanlo mi dashi gbanlo tell the registrar general department as directors of the company allo shareholders so kwa. Mi no na ba the doctrine of separate legal entity allo separate legal personality. Ye nya ba di na nya ba amagbato ayi de company do fa. Ye o ho gbanlawo ye dashi gbanlate aga o kali ohi onya ne gbanlavo ba yo ho dama ba company ya odwi ko a company a alavuvu na amayo ka do company ya ta company ya
waga tro wa ton ale ne company ajago wa ton ale company ademo
what ala company ademo ye jole wuntumi o fa nya mafia tananya ba na kpo vong dodro ka oda wuntumi mo oda company ha mo ka ko ba company amanya amagbato nya na laga akpoko de prison abele ko kpo wuntumi ko de prison ta odo for na company ya ni choma. Now the doctrine of
so ayo do for na company make fa hege
company anto hege
e vo me na si de gele ganwe ma o pro de ko me le ko ga fi gana ba wa
kaka ona hege ya tai amadaka agbala gana ba se won amadaka matia form company.
Okay.
No one person can form a company in Ghana today. Okay. The Companies Act 2016 Act 992 amadaka pay matter form at least there must be a minimum of 2 directors. and other shareholders what we form company. Now, nanyaba am form company ala ta nshang wike company awo obuba company ewe manya directors o we kaka bele mi no gbomena to every rule there is an exception. Ta the rule is that nanyaba form company to vuvuna amoyuka form company company atia the bank abadoga company atia komu akoko de court neba amara jagalo company ja company atia kplomo akoko de court nana maka nanyaba company jagalo waji wo attack kplo company akoko de court kake aduna yi ado asa ta so this is it akpaba aiflo nanyaba na kplo nyonko de church be ya wa aiflo ni akpaba ochona ngmona nyonwo ta no gbo ma onya hu aduna stage ada pastor na ba you may now kiss the bride atagbugbo nto na nyonwo na ba you may now kiss the bride akpaba nri ma ko chumu na nyonwo anu wo form jivu kaka na form wajivo afi na kpo mekele nwogo de kanya sro ka na gbugbo nto ni azo na my company le ma ta once o form company akọ directors o pe moyo ka dash gba na ta afi o form company a o la company amagba mara ka manya o company akọ onya yata magbodongo ebe the company can sue in its own name and also be sued.
Okay.
The company can borrow money and undertake so many other activities. Kana ba odo yi ya da ba mayo kala company amagba ako company akoko chashi e agba ala mi agio akado nwa yemi ona ba piercing the veil of incorporation. Alo lifting the veil of incorporation. Lift the veil. Tana flung na company ako mayo ka bara company amagba fi azan plus fraud wagadri woma scam woma kakado nwozo.
Okay. Ta afia ba ina national o atoko company anu ngbegbelon
very good
fi ko wale company ala ke amayone le company amagbe hanu gbegbelan o ma wa asinaje oji mba jora wuntumi je nyama.
Okay. Anya ba wuntumi do zoda sekpa do doji afiko accountant mining company limited ako shika kume afi anya yo jojo mfia na wuntumi mala court aba yan wuntumi no ka ipa company you akoko the court ta afina klo director of a company akoko the court here you have a lot to prove and you must demonstrate to the court that behold the time is due for the corporate veil to be pierced or to be lifted so the law can catch the directors and punish them. Ta wuntumi pa gojeje ko ya ta oklo kokko da pon wenya ba one akwabe onne gbanle ba na okushika ese anya ba nanya ba wona ogbanle ba na akushika yenya ha shika kula manya enya ma ba kushika ala ba ma the minister gbo kaka na ma va gbo ba o fi ka wona ba na kushika la da shi afuma na nya ma kushika ese anya ba de na ma va gbo wa enya ma the minister nya ma the minister gbo na minister na nam gbanle nanya ba wona ko wonsa ko enam wo nyigba ke nchi o da shi na ba ma kushika la jia kama jagola saji. So the first offense never
vonenya ba nyento nyanu ba ho agban reji yebo ame never no gbo nya miam va mia no ba nka ba go nya maje
ame never no gbo nya miam va mia no ma ala vuvu ne va o da ka va no.
Okay. So le untumi ba case amaleke wo ko
adashile tepang nama. That is what we call assignment of mineral rights without prior approval. You assign the mineral rights but dashila nyi gbang no ba afo wakushika fa
evo ayo ho agban la do ma hin nu yo ke wa koku sika meliota me aneva ba ye be akusika hu le si o da sile wan ago nyoja
ta. So this is it sabade afgban afina dashile nsema ke jirudo na o awo ida jirudo ba wuntumi na jirudo po gban lo ma ba o gban lo de ateba kushika jirudo ba de na bia dashile tepamang na mabubuo ama mahanava no kpo ba ihe de pepe mama la shi ba ihe atia kushika la dodo nwu la sakpe dodo nwu a do hia wo wekum to wonyo kaka nya ha ma yiga va kwia alekola ba ma we la sakpe dodo nwu nyamate ogana na mo ya ta saba yi the minister gbogban do hi anya ba na nya ba mama troy the minister kpo fa gban lo ma kpo fa pepe ma ipo experience ifa equipment to klo mamla atan minister atia kpo ba awo nsema mala shi na kwita mi ashidega lang na o. Yatai, it is the individual who is known to the minister. So You cannot assign the same right that has been granted to you to another person without prior approval of the minister. And the minister at the time he came here was Abu Jinapo. Tawun to me dashile nyigban na apoto bubuoda heke oyana be Henry Okum.
Yeah.
Dashile nyigban ni. Enya agojeje gbanto e kokoda wun to me. But dashile tepang ne mala majaji. Vevelia akwa ye wun to me koko dashile nyigban ne vo. Apoto na kada malasio. Wun to me mano kaklo koko e defi ko drana excavator plang mamlole. Yen ton ava demagba o dashile excavator na apoto koko e de nyigba aji. So he aided. So this is the other offense. Purposely facilitating an unlicensed mineral operation. It was not licensed because Minister Madashila Balang now. Now, purposely facilitating. Aleke onyabe apoto akonchi odashi le ipanye bang na kada kama apoto oshu. Do hi koji kolashi koji play kaka wuntimi jagba. Onyaba domolo nyata jagba ide fikodona bodo zakla excavator play heavy equipment mola. Ava gbono demagbano bano dashi lang na apoto ya. Ikana nyaba apoto ma gbanga da kama lashi bo doma fiu. Kaka ava woma so you aided, you counseled, you facilitated purposely bano va glang nyigba. Agoje joko koda wuntimi wenye ya. Ta agoje je abele megbe na amomo ton kloko da kotai. Wuntimi oko agoje je o veni. Amavavele ka shi oko agoje je o veni. Company ha oko agoje je o veni. Ta mamuka to kloko da kotai ko agoje je o adan yo konawo.
So wuntimi fa agoje je atu wofu na amavasusu ya.
Madakuwe. Amavasusu ya.
Agoje je ka wo kode wuntimi wufia ikemi anya ala ba mama globa amoba edo figana ga amoba akusikare maje ji so ka wo kode wufia.
Ba wuntimi le enya ke taw di moni twa manya gana ga ofio. Enya gba avelia magalamse wo. Enya velia kan wi ko wanya ba dashi la ifa shika kuku pata fanchi na amabubu heka minister ma dashi da ajio. Enya gojeje gba because asabade afina dashi la wo concession alo tape ko na wonchi na amabubu de na kushika lia alaba minister na nyana minister bon na na gbala mama kaka wuntumi toshi akoko ko dashi la tepang na ma enya gbanto.
Okay.
Avelia yo dashi la tepang na ma ga togbo ga demagba na mama oko agaba ple excavator ple machine bubu na ama sagbobade nanya ba o meka demagba na meka shi gbanla nyigba gbanla mala ba kushika na demagba ni yelo le o magba de mama na o ple shika kunwone ya ka ha ajago ta agoje joma ve ya yokoda wuntumi chi manya ba do galamse o tatima kpo be kan wajago mo ba wuntumi o galamse a manya galamse o nanya ba mada o galamse ya ka apotoma ko na ba Henry Okuma ye o galamse ya ala ba galamse ko nyanka akushika ka gbanla de kama de magba na shika kuko so we galamse ya.
Okay, so ayo la lafia ba bienye be ayi meke ya kwa gbanla be ya kusika vo wa ko ibe tefa na mabubu are be na kusikare ame yo ko tefa na fia fika ya le fifila enenye be ha gbo alo oliare ba bienye be se aton akpro ha ike ha na yi mo afa ni ha aton ayi demo
oh afato lilo afato dashi nyigbanya ankwanya Henry Okum ye jiru doza as a prosecution witness.
Okay. No what prosecution witness enye
ekpa na nya be jiru do kokko de hwon yo buiba ajagode a ele bo yo dase fo na ika odi dase odu dase na jiru do ika hwon akwedam akwo jiru do fa nya dam ba nya tape enya okode awonwo nya tape dase fo oglonya de jiru do ji ba nya tape ajago vava.
Okay.
Onya ba prosecution witnesses. Tamika jiru do wa nya ba instead of ba what charge wakonya da apotoma ka aku apotoma ka nchi wunsumi adashila nyi gbangna instead of wakonya de hanwo jiru do bo vaza mama aba wo pa that's for na handa wuntumi so they become prosecution witnesses talanya gbogblomo enya second prosecution witness ta ya bo nwe eva gbolo vonwo bare nyata fe wuntumi nam tefa be maku shika alo kaka yo nama mako gbanware kana mo tang mai jonyi cho nyama
kenenye be do kwa gbanle dena America okutefa komna di e ma afia be jagwalo still a
agbanla yogbo minister tala boy de minister bu ngola bo ko gbala na mama kaka wuntumi akoi pe lolong fa da shile te pang na ma ta
so okay
tal agreement anwo once nye bia da shile te pang na ma ko ploma ko de minister boy over to gbala ma kula ama ke o mineral rights ma ke ha ogbo da shile o da shile na amabubuo ta edo gala wuntumi shi ayede mama shi ta at all material times onyaba minister ma akọ gbala na afoto Henry Okumota ngbegbe de share ke jola nyi gbajia e jola wuntumi pan koma
okay fifia ayo lala ike ojaba nu ike ojaba ntumi na wo mawu ye overzan the prosecution witness the untumi
yes
ayo de untumi mo fiare jirudu aga to konya the prosecution witness anwu be ha de ha mo
afi jirudu na akplo afoto ma kanya Henry Okum he kemia gbegbo ma ha jago ya bo nwiva wo ya nchie wuntumi da shile nyi gbang na afi jirudu na zan ya as prosecution witness gbanadeli udana shite wena be non prosecution agreement
okay
jirudu yo be afoto Henry mi jiba mi azan na do da se for na mi against wuntumi kaka na lo ka mi ashida ga gbanate be wo wela mi o ploga kokko de court. That is the non-prosecution agreement. Ta usan gbanla.
Da site.
O da site.
Vivia untumi ko je wa pe fure na
exactly. Ta afoto ma mo ga te ploga ko de court. Because no ploga de court he will just invoke that agreement but just agreement but me ne ploga ko de court ma ba do da se for na mi ma we na mi de. So why are you sending me to court?
Evoyo nya ye nya me ne gbelen wa.
It is a prosecutorial discretion. Yes. A sad demobe jiruduo alo attorney general mashame ko kpo ba te gblonya wo da ya fanya jia aton akple and na kpo cases gade kala wonfia amagade wo latati ma mi choba la dubo ayin pa case ama wo la afono da pe da dubo ayin de kakasa wo drop charges against that afono and that afono mafia she's not a prosecution witness against a dubo ayin. It is a prosecutorial discretion.
Okay fifia ayo la lafia ike untumi if a lawyer sober they are going for appeal.
Yes.
Nenye be get appeal ame ba bienye be what are the chances ka weli what one that sile nwa why reduce the number of years alo leyola nema kono golema
neither appeal either be court of appeal or appellate court nso moton yele court of appeal shi alo appellate court shi ngbanto ka appeal court atian wenye be atohe ko kono order shi dajiba nanu nanama
tell you 20 years you connect to me. Then you be lawyer or in the court of appeal. You want 1 year. What one decide okay 20 years annual
court of appeal
waga talk 20 years am so about because between 15 to 25 ta wako 5 to 6
waga take 5 to 6 you waga take DDG ha wakoto
okay
ta court of appeal ati wo nwa moton ya but there's a fundamental information I need to give there are so many grounds heke amatia chitreji either court of appeal alo I appeal kaka grounds yo ma I will classify it under just two broad grounds ba atia you court alo atia ya appeal aglobedi nanya ba olanku the evidence ka lead le trial during trial the prosecution who bears the burden of proof was not able to discharge the burden, therefore your guilt was not proven at trial. Yenyabe nyokaji nyoko labo fian la bonwo afio kpo gojeja do hin bongdro alo attorney general matem prove ma afio do mota o do moda majeji. So there was a miscarriage of justice, therefore attack by the court of appeal but not definitely the whole judgment am not actually na Agbavor afema nanyaba na ten agbonya the court of appeal yo with them but there was mistrial or there was miscarriage of justice, or that the evidence led against you was not enough to have resulted in your conviction and sentencing. That is number one. Number two, I think Baba in fact, proven Xiang Bama Jago Vava Kakade to her a sogbokpa do Didijina no poto. Yanya no court of appeal alo appellate court na court of appeal alo appellate court na akpo be nyatepe 20 years Milko Kekiakoni, Kekima, the least in 15 years, which the law also fixes. Kakamika Court of Appeal. Allo, Court de Kamatua or never. Motuan did this sentence allo to her less than 15 now. Because the minimum fixed by the statute is 15 and the maximum is 25. Tamotiana 25. In the same vein, they cannot give less than the 25. The law is the law.
Tai minu fofo fia kwa opportunities ma woli enyama.
Marakue.
Na untumi pe lawyer o.
Marakue. Kakade afo 59 page judgment mahli abaji wena. It is not easy. Ofukbaga. Afi appeal na yitro. Mountain afaja to blibolia go la afi. Mahla judgment and the judgment is tight and the judge did a very solid work. The analysis is solid and me, I'm just a young lawyer. I'll be 3 years old in October. I'll be 3 years at the bar in October. Tanya Matia Chito da Fia, Alonya Matavana da Fia, I condemn lawyer Bubu because me one it is against the ethics of the profession. But the judgment Akboba judge Anton Tonto for want to me for lawyer, what's the name? Apiakubi. Akbody, me no nyada bomba every case rises or falls on cross-examination. Tanakbo lawyer. Your lawyer clock at the court, and during cross-examination, Matembia question back the likelihood is that you go inside. For example,
is it the
prosecution witnesses?
Okay.
For example, I'm defending some 4 accused persons there, so I cover circuit court. Bullets. Because you see, whenever I'm at a file witness statement like court, yeah, as a lawyer, you have the opportunity to cross-examine on it. You may cross-examine on it or. The law is that when you fail to cross-examine on the very material ingredient of a witness statement, it is deemed admission.
So, nuka we na tenwakpo le cross-examination ama fia nya fear na ina case ato ejidu galo meto jidu.
For example, le won't me pa case ama akunta mining won't me ngo letter the akunta mining Company Limited per letter herji, corner the then Central Regional Minister, who was then the head of RECSEC, Regional Security Council.
Yeah.
Letter on with the Akunta Mining Company Limited per letter herji, and the letter was signed by Untumi. Now, under cross-examination, Untumi for lawyer, he could not second prosecution witness, which is Henry Okum. You know, and you be cross-examination. I be a letter ya. Akunta mani letter you let the man and my over A. And what was the purpose of the letter over O? Letter the only Kokona regional minister at the time. Come make a sign letter. You want to me a sign. Avo, that was the end of the cross-examination on the letter. Me and your Lord Agbavor, Abaloya na. There was one question I was expecting Apiakubi Bobia. Bobia body. One, you have admitted by letter Ella Akunta Mining Limited per letter herji. 2, you have admitted the letter was signed by Untumi. The third question, and very important question, in what capacity did Untumi sign the letter? Was he as an individual or as a director of the company? Do you understand? Nanyaba prosecution witness he signed as a director cover. Ever, it means that you cannot hold Untumi liable. Because I've talked about the doctrine of separate legal entity or separate legal personality. Tanaba Untumi sign Agbala. Company I'm going to run a company. Yatana Manglok Banadefia, Lenya company fun comma, company upon Konya Lord Agbavor Company Limited. Namanguleta la company upon comma, Alla Mangwid of Maba. I'm signing as a director of Lord Agbavor Company Limited, not in my personal capacity. That was one flaw in the cross-examination of Leonard Senior Piakubi. And it was so, that's my judgment. Judge Abu for Apiakubi letter for opportunity. Now, no judge clear but cross-examine. You didn't cross-examine. And now you call a cross-examine on. You have a cross-examine or a sign, but it is deemed admission. I feel back with them.
So, Ayola Lafia, no either appeal. Wagaton cross-examine.
Appeal court, Mugak Bonana, Lafma. You can journal appeal court, allow appellate court. Yenyaba, Lekanya Jole, Court Bante Cogbonala, Documia Puga Bano Lafma, Act transmit Bano, Akoko the Court of Appeal, allow appellate court. Tafma, Markamagapunamu. You only write. Now that is where your law talks. Apa thought them more 12 years for defilement. Now I was 1 year at the bar. My practice government you. What do you more 12 years for defilement? In your senior me will appeal ni. Quickly me apply for the record of proceedings le trial court le judgment. Manong manchi for 10 nights. Exam wo nyama donlo. I read over and over again. Hey mama, yeah ato forcing. I'm about that to forcing more. Yoko submission of no case quite the court of appeal. Who acquit all that shilong. That was the time ato forcing judgment was passed. And the learned the learned judge who presided over the panel, the court of appeal, Justice Agbavor, who taught me advocacy in the law school. Aglonya rebedi and ato forcing judgment amebedi. Where a prosecution fails to call a material witness, how can you be successful at trial? Tang we come he come no appeal ma wa we come anybody. Uba apato he ke udemo 12 years uba adde de viade bo. Uba moto viade allo moto tode. Ye ku nyon via kokko de fa home. Kaka moto toma prosecution amoyo. Moyo moto toma na Agbavor nyata bia yeku alomanya yeku. So that for me, that was one of the grounds, and I hammered it with all the laws. My father made the high court, which was the appellate court, because circuit court damamo. When we filed appeal at the high court, the court agreed with us, acquitted and discharged the gentleman. So that is how it works. Moga bubona nyak blona le court of appeal, but Gavano da come be a question. No, it doesn't happen. The court of appeal will only go through the records at trial. That's all.
All right, final question. Afi mia avu kapomoa because time me beta ma halili enye. Eyi mi enu fofo fifi lai. Mi amagere o, mi manya sell. Nuka we mi anokpokpon fifi lai kana difia ba this rule of law ato wodo na mi okatanwi. Apart from to me be case a day man na instance are at least mi anovi ma yo ire fima maybe 6 months arele one fi never get
1 year.
1 year afi never get money.
Yes.
So never get mo kwa 12 years ayina. Nuka we mi ano nkulem de na nyebe nyawo jore mi aji. Maybe in the coming days aje mi adi time are kun ike mi ano education
no problem. I'll always be available. Ba majiba mi afa $2 na sebe. Nanya bobo demade mo. Donc la ba ko dada ina. Afi bo o da komanda dujia. Manya gbegbe ke o declare ma ba ye dujia. Ye da ko lo.
Okay.
Akoda da jena go me gbegbe ko jen ko ngonglo. So it's a whole process. The same way no bo demade mo from the very day ke police o povito lama oba mi low as a suspect call. That is where it starts. So for example, there's a principle in law, the principle against self-incrimination. Nemiele studio afia ko povito gara afia ko walem o da hankof ashinam. Oba mava modevi machi adele Harvey miade. Yo klonko ka de police station. Yo ba manglo statement. Aleke na statement angloga. That is where the whole thing starts.
Okay.
Anya blogger the first day. Fuma ngwaglena na nyoga alo gbegbelega fuma ojena oglena chunema alo fuma onyona chunema.
So statement mianto miatu angle alo miabo miadenya jine povito no angle.
Mad ategbe be adenya jine povito no anglo. Kaka madi ma wo criminal cases gada. Maglonya na povito no anglo. Ye dama gada mo. Ta afo ta flachilo na manya saw alo la do kubo bomba la ta flachi na nyaba manya gbanlo ye povito low yo ba nglo nana. Look, it is not obligatory manya ejizio nyaba na povito loko na nglo ngolo ategbe ba nya chore wanya na ko full stop manya ba na vanu ye gban la gba ka dom ba ye the university gbo aye nya secondary school aye ko first class yo pa class aye ko no ko anglo ko pendo ko na nglo la gba adokyo daga mo
nyima se nyamago
because
ayi kene ire povito gbo.
Yes.
Obi onu inejo.
Yes.
and the fo baby anglo ye ne wanglo o suku de adengovie ye wanglo ma
anya professor ta
be uma to
dokuna nglora gbanga jiko de ba glombe di ngmanglo gana la na manya ngmanglo gana la yedaga mo tana manya na ka chongo ko baba I deny the allegation in its entirety full stop
da be ba to anglo alo na ko ne gbegbe gelo bon kuma ko avo
na ne ba ati anglo ya ko pena na ba I, Lord Agbavor, I deny the allegations leveled against me. Full stop. A sign. Mi ko nyafa gbala. Bo Victor ke maga ko akbo. Alo or jijio. Alo or devovo mo ba nglungo kokoko. Alo yonglungo no. Na dashi. Yonglungo no na dashi ma afo adama gadamo. Section 120 subsection 3 of the Evidence Act of Ghana 1975 NRCD 323. Banglama eko ngona la povito gbo statement ma adama gadamo tanya gbo na du kwanya badi and in fact never mawe ayi yodamo an so so blibo nyamye gbo na ogale studio afia na dumavio no sanyang ela but still an wojojom cases gadamo wo do either on appeal alo fresh case amunto gbo na opanya fi kona nya na lawyer what magic can a lawyer do ye tamiko law on to na gblanya but most importantly mada kuno lawde na atwa kpo lawyer gbona kpo Victor ba yamanya de ka blogo pasada wi ka ya fa lawyer va no law manya jijio nya ba kukukukuku na gblonya ye kpo Victor de ka asada ka mana mo kpo Victor de ka la Ghana fia ba no law ko kukukuku no na anglungu ye ma gbaba the rule against self incrimination. It is not my duty to assist you as a policeman for you to secure conviction against me. No. Tonya ko nyaba ma deny. He who alleges must prove. Mia oba ma fifi. Mia oba ma daravi machi bo. Mia oba ma woma. Leka mia kwa ma woma. Leka mia kwa ma foto mana mai. Ma juwa mai. Ma fifi ya. Mia we bloge. Nya nya kama la shinyo. Ya tai. Wata kloma da koko da court on a criminal matter. From day one. He ko kloma koko da court ya. Do he anya da kape ka amatia glo. He ko nyaba tam ka we plea home. Are you guilty or not guilty? I'm not guilty. That is the only statement the person will make. Now, nanyaba owevo prosecution. Are you a witnesses okata? Na ko lawyer ka o cross examine prosecution witness o ajagba kaka element okata in the offense ka okora manwo. Ye lawyer fa nkpokpo chi in fact ma o da nyichola so ka ko fa. Okonya do da madon okplo prosecution kplo witness o ma tonve including investigator ka investigator mo. Ye ma cross examine okata. Ye ma over there. Ye jaja bi ambedi baka gbe mia fa case defense open my lord, we will not open our defense. So I want to invoke section 173 and 174 of our 30. The mango submission of no case to answer. Ye file submission of no case to answer. Jaja bo nya tefe ya kpoba because of the new kamya wala cross examination mata third water kama la povito open nya malo prosecution nya mota o da shela maun they've been acquitted and they start go home ta kpoba amama fun da ka olo mo ko nchi o to nya do mo fun wa da ka la court ka ko do ko ya fa mapo that time body anya fa gbegbele alo nya fa nyonyo. It starts from the day you were arrested or invited by the police either as a suspect or charged as an accused person and arraigned before a law court for prosecution.
All right. Council me edak me akpo message the Agbavor you let me Facebook page akwa na me adasile ka for this is coming from Lord Pechike. That is thanks very much boss for the education. And then Lord Pechike again, I'm watching you live from Accra Cantonment me edak and then that is Caleb. But if he signs as a director, the judge can left the view. So if he signs wasn't the director, meaning that what one phone wale.
So our answer it's not a straightforward answer. No, sign as a director. What it means he's signing on behalf of the company. Now, Imam Agbavor, the only circumstance the judge can lift the veil. They are using the company to commit fraud. But you see, in the case of Untumide, look, from the year 2019, Companies Act of Ghana at 992 corporate governance directives. A sector do only will have a company the share and azoreji want to me per company must order the you. In fact, want to me per company director of a register company want to mean to play Kwame entry Kwame entry avasada gbe kamion foma amagbato lanyo akpe olanyo achi olanyo pen olanyo madakamanyo.
Okay.
He is not a human being. We don't even know where he is. Ta want to me act him alone as a director of the company.
Okay.
And record the Kahamaliba Nanyaba company be take decision that director we noni do. But as I sit here today as a lawyer, I'm also a board of director now Avenora Bank. Now Avenora Community Bank.
Okay.
And my appointment has been sanctioned by the Bank of Ghana and I'm a director there. Every bank man take decision that me all directors so no nani. Anglung langda banglaji. That is good corporate governance practices. Let me na bank aba ya laptop if you like ya. All me all director me anoni. I discuss it. I resolve. We pass a resolution, but yes, you can go ahead and procure the laptop. Kakana nyaba directors o me all directors o me vow. Ko bank and talk over laptop you be oba directors o de ala nyanyang no na ba minutes ke allo resolution ke lifia fiamba directors o dash regime your laptop you make ko fian it means that you were acting so moto without the sanction of the board of directors.
Right.
And maybe at the appropriate time we'll come back and then do some further insight. Thank you.
Uncle, this is Bonsheka. Uncle, we are proud of you. This is proud of you. Harvey and then Tatome is proud of you. Me Edakpe. Unity Avaga. Unity Avaga Wheezy. Regards to the law lord, Chikata, Chachushikata Jr. Ma pronounce the word which is he said prosecutorial discretion. Yeah, ma pronounce it. So Unity, I believe I've done that. So the next one, keep the good work from your sister success. This is that is Agbavor. Proud of you. So from Yaira, me edakpe the message at then TikTok I'm yokata na mi akpom letter from me edakpe na mi yokata. Password. Good evening to you. Watching you live from Hatogodo me edakpe then. Okay, Citizen Ghana, I need his number. Okay, maybe before we close, you give out his number. And then the same thing from Mokoni said, Mokoni the Great, we need your number. So, me no yimi akpoba like a nule. Okay, I have learnt a lot. Too much talking is not good. Interesting. Thank you, Barrister. And this is coming from Strongman GH. Me that, honey, wow, Lord. I knew him way back in Accra. That is Aman Saman, kudos lawyer. And then Charles, good insight. And then Hila, watching you live from Aplau. Me Edak. Cancel. Yafa timer. So me aho call the cover roko. Nema troma boba egbo nena aponya tanami. So me abenya salo atu agere me agi 0550013423 0550013423. Na yokwa new onelia na awi na mikomi azorengo. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Jose Mizorengo.
I'm a Carlos Mana. Lord, Agbavor, okay, I made chairman.
Okay.
Dautu a wone le Kalia fem le Koshiragbo Utromo. Ike Kakorikaja, Ani Jonabo Ogadaba, Aga Sacrifarupiano, Revive Baba, Ikabe Gulu, Abu Komote na Kalia or Honu, Water, I don't know, Ostrom, a Sawa, Kutukmuta, Kenaglo, a Dokunyamuru, Ayo Puga, Gosia. Purechama uchuitia miaro kunibo akushika ayu bala maden akwa anu ite ori belendo yakatani tamata maji agbaba ogadaga aba tele make mo chobuduna mana Jonathan 20 economy mo chobuduna mo tofe.
Okay, good evening. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Nko kule fini mejo.
Wisdom na pray.
Econovio natural kadi cho kadi leke.
Okay.
Do gonna lawyer na ma ye dang mo manya ba leu. Ako dang mo ko. Nya man ne ka ma ko kudu kini.
Okay. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Joe.
Homeboy Chokachi.
Okay, homeboy, Mr. Go.
Joe Banana, brother of Mana.
Okay.
Whenever Yakbo Amoyola Dana, the Quemo, so Madame Nanyala, I know about that Aroka or Ha, the Niogo.
Yeah.
Alaba, a Saro Madame Lafma, getting into a Banyaro, sending a Bali, so linear ha. Aquaniba, Mount Nala, but no, a so Madame Nanyalo.
Aqua 0 0550013423055 0013423 revival oblasiki wasiki toto yiseto pa yavolo janela mieda pa na Lord Agbavor ba agare miaji. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
The old Tajawu.
The old Tajawu, Thomas, you want to put back off on
Aqua.
everything. I put your mother, you full of politics at the PGGA. Tanamia, Magna Mother, Yomba, the sitting journalists were nobody can contest. But I can't take on your challenge you.
Okay.
Tanamo Yomba, the sitting journalists, I mean it.
Aqua.
The sitting political shows, I mean it. But to ban a lawyer like Washmaji.
Okay.
At the woman and if I see him, Tonania lawyer on the Bachagon, and Madame Naniala. I do Dinaminto.
Okay.
At Panapa, energy, Halamala, Banya, Madame Nisai. Carry.
Yeah.
Matonia Tafanori. Nobody is against Tribuna in Ghana. Jaka Tribuna, you may to PNDC. Tamike Tribuna, PNDC Tamke Tribuna Valo. Military officers were. But I don't know she. Kakokuva, all the matter, but Kukulala she. Oh, Kakoko, you know her. O sentence Mochilo, Moto Tuchigo, Hakato, O sentence Holo. Muma Kuga, Nkatame Shikokula, Yata Shikokula, Made Shikote Shima, Okuma Vale, the competent court of jurisdiction, a woman banner. Oh, they don't have that time. Oh, you need to follow politics. That's a party. PNDC. Get loyal, like open at the last part of PNDC time get travel Navalo, rolling time low.
Okay.
Me like Padamela, not going to answer. What do Benacavilato?
Okay. Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, Unity Avaga.
Yeah, Dog Banner, ever.
Agbavor serial caller.
We're going to see Dog Banner lawyer now.
Okay.
But I'm on Papa Dog Banner. Yapa Chairman maintain Chairman Tony Kojo Usu Westphalia. Americana Wadonui na Akatisa FNDC. Yemia Duji Club Vutika Madopoa Madogane Tokida. Madogana Jonathan ha. Wizi akoba aika over your weather boji that your weather. Ajabana yue kaba beshe tokatana. Ajabana yue kaba akola kana boji that you are.
Kawa wuto yemiase.
Prosecutorial powers. Ye bagwe akola boji that you are when you. Okay, Wizia, but not lawyer, ready. Mavangwa Agblena Made, Banya Madeko minister succeed. Mavangwa Agblene, me change Chibo Maquinamu, Tamajibo Akpadenchinyade. Nya to succeed call that I want to me bo. None already in a case man, Mandia. Nimen na police over succeed magapung too much or I don't know about much I got a call me fuga go agbale police ogona wa agbonyare akpe.
Good evening. Good evening. Yeah, unko kula vini miyocho.
Ngwanya Robert I will be my lot to Akiva over copper.
Okay, Robert Mizorongo.
Dogana Lord Namasma. I assume him in your body.
na la gbema me ke si no kwa no si wo fi na no aboko ma ejina na ma nya ma gburu ka nya ma gburu ha nya to fali won to mi to ya sia mi munya ta na ke si no la so nya le ke na no gbe nya le ke na no gbe ye ko nya ke la si nya gbe ma gbo ta won to mi to ya na se nya mo won to mi to dagba ha ko ga bona do ga do hikra ga koko ga jawu won to mi to ta na la gbema na poke si no nya le ke na pumu la mo do mi
okay
nya le ke na so lo akpa
okay good evening evening
service on
yeah marakun ko kula fin me ojo
marako nya Fred nya yon chukpo ga kati south
okay Fred mi zorango
service on turu radio ro kono madda pana loyal lord Agbavor Virginia bubu toto ke la fama badda mu manami na ni o fiagba awa gaba nya maru ha lo nya nyele ke bia anno gba lo nya jai na nya da dora maraja na yi position nya le kana funwe ele o film chu tribunal court to to untia nya afada jiru binam so ma binam ta ma sey ko no kafu ta ma da pene to kesia
all right me that 0550013423 me apa a lawyer ga yele me agbo from Akachi south no numadem na mi egba so me do je kude the tribunal system anu and me ga doje kude untumi pe wono katanu me apa gama ha ayivie so ma agede cancel ji na wa okay ma hoyo ya konemia agareji good evening
evening boss
ya merakun ko kula fin mi ojo
ya ni ko tan na garanto de
meraku
ni ko ya sami na garanto de
okay samo mi zorango
ya baraku madda pana loya dai ko marata dan songa kata apa ko do pun ni daga mara ko ni next ko ga ma aku ka ba si ko ati o ba ya na ma ko da chama ke ga wala gore apa ko jono ga kuma ni
afia ba na mara ba fi oponu
le ko ga ka mo da te ya ma ko o mi ko lo ko de ka a wa tu said ma ko ba ko ga go wala go ma ina ta gu na ta dire
okay all right akwe cancel me agere the last one aji oh chare magona good evening nko kula fin me ojo
John Chotajawu
ebe
John Chotajawu
all right John mi zorongo
yeah akpena senyala de ale yuva fienwemita ka lenyaba nyala eye amayo kata la jujie klo wontumiro ba wontumia ngomo se sema sona pankonya ba amareka matanyu afia azupogboni ta agbenom aba pogboni ene eye lewo jirudu ama yo cho shika kukuda majamaje ji ya cho kria amoda magbene kaka jukura nton ha damagbene nenya ba sala hasi afore do yina na made kanya saji wala onya gasia atama bumu mala gbagba ta andi bitowa no la fodi ojiba yo tro jojoma fanwo wotrugwe yikanta fo ma ga bona nyinogo ifa for the mola
okay
ta no la fodi anyi ba fifi hadi dinama akpa
okay mia edakpa na mia anovia gift yakuvi ebe unity never kpo ebe ya hefare so siranu magachi yo na makpafia kwa mia kpo bala mia wiro okay this one the final caller mada kuku good evening yeah nko kula fini mejo
you ho Frederick da kaji so tama
Frederick
yes
okay Frederick mi zorango
mado wala na klo nya salao nya pato ko majiba madan tiare chama untu mi fa anya yama la nyo nya ta pomadi mi ga de la pa Ghana du ko mi la majibo mi ada voter mi fight na ngogba yi ta flache NDC mi dana kona NDC va pa ofia mi ja gba mi lobby development project are na va mi ade to NDC gbo nya dada na mi e cho mi akoko no haji we mi akoko no nyi anya to me mi avio ti amount to mi fa shikanya ya ta flache mi ha mi no vio to voter o le shika ku fa le gba masia galamse o mchika amount to mi fa gba kenya nya as a lay person my judgment you malan kuda ma mi ta flache no nyeba mi ataw de chama to mi moro ye amarona no fiara no hallelujah jima kamnya nya ba achoncho ama poteo kala ndi simo fa gbala hahamo nke jo ma nya egbon chama to mi esama gbogbom judgment ya kana o de chama to mi moro enye ba na ma o galamse kaka gbala kamnya ma fi ba chama to mi o galamse confession have been duly signed to him from the Ministry of Lands. Yo, where Nama do aba ye queen Nama, but no reclamation. Am I reclamation or Gavasikaku? Ta American Galamsi or ma throw Chamau to me, equal about Yalama. Kaka Mama, let's treat him free. Teach me what you Chamau to me demo on Galamsi first, and I can only be open to grammar. And this told me to calculate when we ever Chamau to me, Black Power 2013. Ye President Mahama Koshiacho, the late Atamashiko, Iko JH Singoma, a collapse for business is Okata. Kaka Banke Majiwa Miagbo, Mitunyatafa, John Mahama attack a business guru so la Ghana, a collapse for business is Okata. If a brother Ibrahim Mahama to promote him, a Amo Azuma and company, black voter, we corner, if a brother. You need to come and go John Mahama, play for family. Na hajaka to come because you be voter to you dana connect this so you know John Mahama kafu ono to quite destroy man
tafia be nenya ba mare kusikare maje ja manyu bo ade ne ba
to me kusikare maje jo
fifia enwanye be nui ka wo agbanle be aba wade
political witch to for that amount to me more maje ji to nyatefa na people dem galo nyaba gbajio
agbanle ya ko ho be aba kusika yin to sika kuma fi wazu nyane fia.
You see, a sad body, you can have an agent. You go and read the minerals law. But if you have an agent or you have a company, staff, you can assign the job to them. Now that is what the law says.
Without ministerial approval. Without ministerial approval.
So that American come out to me, he's an agent. The law permits that.
Okay.
What that nonsense?
How? I will not allow that. Good evening.
Avizia.
Yeah. Almighty.
Parangwi. Apa hono vyo mighty rola kaito dabala junction.
Akwe.
Mado Wenity branch executive Okata. Visited the incoming voter, deputy voter regional secretary, Dr. Lawe Banya. Plus about the Guasu, incoming deputy treasurer regional. Chamiga. Okumukuba Fiere. Mado Gwana Chamiga La Pomara. I told you, my son called missing to Bubutosula the TV. For your wisdom, one blaniba get me led via MPP as a political party. Chamount Milnia, I'm a Samakla at Aluda Gomasen. Savlacha, open leader, the parliament, Agbavor. May you power, you got us in Tessamay, so I could Pijabo. You reference arama diba Bakara diba.
Alright, your network am diba ade joro.
Awija.
Okay, mi zoro. Almighty, network am nyonyo moro.
For the reason.
Hey, almighty.
Wisdom.
Okay, we
Apa. Maka you are 2016 Oh, aku Mahama Odego. Kaba chama utu mina minyaba yo aku Mahama yo fo Mahama rwara ngunecho galante kukwale na kume. Kanta mi ba lose pa 2016 ba chama utu mi to ga na ile radio je Mahama jumba abe agu alode abu donea. already Mahama no be a brother chama untimi. Maga ye chama untimi ana ramrone. Chama untimi for ma don jalo. So na nyaba end bi communicate ala gogo no journalist boy na akhla na ta blache chama untimi pra me high company nyabe America jere bud koma. Nta ja dola test ke wa chama untimi ka ko kula wala. So no nyaba mi nya go ta blache o ma nya sa nyala. Awo bago ba amare alo journalist ne na ba akhla no are ta blache. Amo nya wonu dola o do siere alo do wonu chore. No kunya ma wa miwa. Kako you national election you na mara be akachi sa we le ba be sa so ni atache go ata
oh my dear. Good evening. The final
good evening.
Yeah. Prosper.
Couple of you prosper, but I thought you
okay, Prosper mi zorongo.
You but that one for you lawyer kala bo my young mother. For you. Kafla chilo. None of you brunya na nyama leta for them. Mara kamo kona evuba gadudu. Be de sukwa be akoto mala ready you. Nya da bi ko manya ka mi afura yo fiari.
Amira sinyama.
Mara ku yo akwa. Na hana ba do sapo. Asa do kuma chama do ko dum pobadi yo kora ba nya ba sare ala fo bojian. Tare knows ba yo do nya na mara yema jangu yo hana ba ya fili no view tare. Oba mo no view amada ma pia bo ba da chaw. Taw hai ko sa na ba do pola gia. No other chama want to me for la police station. Alo if you go di morali, nobody la. Akwa. Nyom ya kata mi la voter region. Kafla tablachi, nyom ya fa NDC edu nyata fa. Nya voter so bulaba NDC komida na akona. Kaka ba fi la vie, nyom ya fa jije nyabadi. NDC yorugia. No na voter region mi hom ya gro. MPP yorugire nke mi po. Aka NDC yorugire a chanti region ba do na wo mlia. Afam do pomplon to. This is the to. Oh, anyake miapo bo ogula mi ku fula. Okay. Atpo idojina.
Emi fanya salama do ta flache, emi faga mata ma do ta flache. Mi asa egba torefia. Cancel.
Yes sir.
So amare bia kure nu fifi fe wono nu. Whenever word for 10 years. Ya mare ba fi. Ogere wonu agere nwuma. Wo wara sila ma hu. Ama vo ma hel domia. Unku ta tomare ma de ma ofu den fia.
Well, Meraku engdodo ko nyaba. Nanyaba mara fifi.
Yeah.
Alo jago bubu. Ekenya criminal offense Duko represented by either Attorney General. Alo the police service as the case may be.
Okay.
Alo any body or institution mandated by law to undertake prosecution. I hope that shionya. Bo plama ko courti. Nanya bo plama ko ye. You take approve amapa gojeja. No yimo. It's a very simple matter.
Okay.
Yata nyanya monogwa bom jigada bedi. Nanya ba ulo. Alo obuiba na wonana yo chonya da ngu. Nyama weo, nyama nyana ka chungu. Aho e make ba ma wonwo. Go and prove. You never prove ba ma wonwo. And never to do no sibadi. Agojeje de shia de ko koda madangu. Nyona na ba ingredients, alo elements. Ala ba prove the shia de na wode. Like porangba. Oba anya Lord Agbavor. Ova modavi machi which is defilement. What are the elements or the ingredients of the offense of defilement? 1. Be devia mahupa 16. That is 1. And but I'm over 16 or there must be birth certificates. There must be a certified document accepted by the Republic of Ghana as the only document to prove age. That is number 1. Number 2. Oba enye Lord Agbavor de viagbo manya away. You have to prove ba enye. And of course, not about to prove a woman via. Then it is inconsequential, it is immaterial, whether or not the alleged victim gave consent. Consent is immaterial in defilement. Nanyaba rape nya, you could nyangwana gbaba nyamalo, ntorabo alon. You get it? Tade, it is not that simplistic. But ochonyada mang, nyakwe, nyalila cho, nyalila street aji, oba la matarashi, ye chomata. Afo na mala matara sha do fia banye chwa mata do hinya do kuma vera matali ba ko na da fia papa ma va gbo na fia ba fia ba ko amata do chule mo street ato tan ko ma va report ba etade ma kpɔle mi tana mie kpɔ me ta la sinye alo mie kpɔ ko be me dɔ eʋu sɔŋ la wɔŋɔ it doesn't mean be me commit crime for every crime allegedly committed there are constituent elements and ingredients that the prosecution bears the ultimate responsibility to prove beyond reasonable doubt. Wilmington versus DPP. I say it's been in existence for over 500, over 1,000 years. Manya mi awe trogo. Tana nyama na konya ko na povito no gbonya ngito. Ta fla chi povito fa akwa povito mo la ba lawyer no. Nyanja law school me de. Tana nya pe povito mi pe le criminal case ma mi o ka pon mo la do hin ama pon mo. Tana ba o bui ba ma da wona na ko ya ma eyi yo ga Agbavor fa ma jigada mi ngogo ma sago
obo povito ko hoga
alo jeja zang all those allegations no it is not proper but at the appropriate time we will be educating but a very quick one for nyada yocho tema eglonya jigada eglonya gbogbo ba ya judgment I want to challenge him. He has not read the judgment and if he did kama sagomo he should go to page.
If you if nyamagia.
Yes.
You may dear me a bezuru na gatro ato.
Marakuyo.
Was it nui ta o den to me more.
Okay.
Na to ato jinamiake.
Marakuyo.
Because ever jejema ba if nyagbo no be nyayo for den glamelemu.
Okay.
So at least I'm even ato a jinamia bo. Okay. ABCD. You wait ta o di moro plus we na konemiaka.
Marakuyo. Ke mangdogelo. Don't worry, I'll answer the question.
Okay.
Now, ebe to me a dashi tefa na apotoko na be Henry Okum banava o land reclamation ta land reclamation wo fo yi manya ba galamse kupo yi o ta nkata o de to me modo
land reclamation
now abi han judgment he should listen very carefully that judgment alagbo he should open to page 41 of the judgment. Now listen, I'll read in English and I'll explain in Ewe. This is what the judge says. Consequently, the Mining and Minerals into bracket Support Services Regulations 2012 LI 2174 regulates the provision of such mine support services. By Regulation 2, such mine support services include land reclamation. Emphasis, land reclamation. I continue. This is confirmed by both PW4 and DW1. PW4 in a fourth prosecution witness.
Okay.
DW1 in a first defense witness. Want to mean ton. If that's for the cow clover, he's a mine expert. Now listen, it continues. This is what the judge says. The following partly transpired between the Deputy Attorney General, Justice Remsai, and DW1 during cross-examination. This is what happened. Question. Now, Remsai, Deputy Attorney General, you want to me for witness cross-examine. This is what happened. Question. In your expert opinion, I'm an expert on want to me clove here. Now listen to what he said under cross-examination. In your expert opinion, do you require a license to carry out mine support services? Answer, yes. Question. In your expert opinion, is reclamation a mine support service? Yes. Question. In your expert opinion, a mineral rights holder, that is one to me, is required by law to reclaim land in respect of which he has mined. True or false? Yes. In your opinion, a mineral rights holder is required by law to reclaim land in respect of which he has mined. True or false? Yes. Now, this is what the judge says. DW1, he can defense witness, first defense witness, and defense witness, I'm a global, he's a mining expert.
Yeah.
Abatoma kaba ya young cho mining, alo shikakuku, yo father, yo defer macho if in ton top of ma. If you have the vehicle, that is another flaw. He is not a credible witness. But I continue. DW1's testimony tallies with that of PW4. defense witness ka wuntumi cover ya ya fa nya bonwo ever circular prosecution witness openya in a criminal matter. This is confirmed by the discourse that took place between counsel for the first and third accused during cross-examination. Question. This is Apiakubi question Abiame. Question. You are also familiar with the Minerals and Mining Support Services Regulation, LI 2174. Yes, my lady. Question. So under LI 2174, can you tell this court who is a support service provider? Answer. This is what the gentleman said. My lady, I need to correct that question. The correct provision in the law, section 59 of Act 70. So it is important to say so because these are companies providing services to the mines. So in short, we can join under cross examination nyabede. Apoto ma kanya Henry Okum e ka won tumi ba de yakonye gbani ba fioka okushikala ho no gbugbo ka akada fa kanya ba reclamation na ase anya ba ameka reclamation na woga iha alaba on a license ba. Okay. You also require a license. So it is not that simplistic. Ba anya makushikala anyi gbaji yemaba awo va hekra ta nako Sophie ba gbodo zakwa je ka kaka unha ehia license before na va hekra and you see a kaka reclamation is a very expensive venture. Untu mako 1 Ghana cedi na apato. Mako 1 Ghana cedi hana apato maba wako akakada ovakada doji. Kan wi ka untu mi gbo neba ye gbo neba no ka Agbavor na do ene detefa na ba enu achi yo Agbavor na okoda fan afo does this make sense? This is illogical. This is infantile. This is a childish thing to say under cross them in a criminal matter. For emphasis, for the avoidance of doubt. But global enyama for yokoda want to mean. Number 1. Assign a ko mineral license in say ko koni be no kushika. A ko na mabubu. Le minister manyana na kachungu. Manyanya de saulo. Parliament e de sa. If we have any problem, let's go back to parliament. Parliament de sabadi. No now mineral license. Allo assignment. You want to be assigned that authority na mabubu order. Go to the minister. Manya, you cannot on your own so moto reassign the assignment that has been given to you without the prior approval of the minister. Number 2. Nanyaba na assign na insamana mabubu. Whenever minister ma dashida yota automatically nanyaba na gakpera mamanchi a dongone still that is another offense. That is how it works. Abamia le fia fifi like afu wonya kbuo mia duba majeba mia da akachi. Majema dora akachi. Na yia yida mobile money tode $1 Harvey Johnson. Na yiko jagba na ado tuji ko na garasi ade kala ko na ahweve. Anya kpumia ajarodo ma. Ye na yina avakpo Jonathan dokan le moji. Ye na gbone ba anya dodo le ye pe Lord Agbavor do me ya. Jonathan bomia ye ha da sedeji. Ko Jonathan ko piste no bo chale mi. Ke mi yi, you va let me vo. 1. Piste la mo register. So you are in possession of an unlicensed weapon. That is number 1. 2. Nanyaba mi va robber ma vo. That is robbery. It's another offense. Now, enye Lord ake glonya no. Mi doja. Nyamala mi yi o. But don't hear jadodo aleke mi doja. Any motivator, any dejipo no be miyita, I'll be charged with either abetment of crime or under section 23 of the Criminal Offences Act of Ghana 1960 at 29, I'll be charged with conspiracy to commit a crime. That is how it works. Ta apato, madaku bojira in lebreak VA asia. Judgment ajagba na poza 9 o'clock. He come pese apo noise de kamelu alo jagba na lock do kyo da homa. Na jagba na to judgment ama deka na nye oglo na segoma. The judgment is a legal document. Na masana na gomo that the lawyer want know the gomo no.
So once again, if you have a license be awodo. Yento mo odo aba queen amare be na wodo for minister me da sirejo.
That is number 1.
Evelia yenye
purposefully facilitating
edamagbe be amana hodo wonu abako wodo.
Very good.
Yike ha se ejebe obe ya won ne pon ma ejebe wa to sefo aba de sefo presusu be enwo kata me na kode ya tanu amve ya tai odi moro ka apoto fa nya ko glo tema apoto ka yotu tema. Yeah, that's Frederick.
Good. Akpa ko glo e ka madashi de nya bade ase ya no bo ze se ya amoyo mo yiga osogbo. In fact ela me to prison bubu because amoyo ka ago haje ma osogbo kaka you see ndaka mahama glo la opposition afi oduje nya bade abade na nya ba na the mining pits never la galam save mo taflachi opodi madoko pikas matok amoko kojirashi enala mamulan de demamo kaka moyo ka otutum ekoga edemagbano onya gbonglala magbano mama odemamo. You are not solving the problem. Therefore Mahama promised in opposition, but when he comes he will tackle or he will go after the kingpins. One such kingpin enya won to me you don't want to me more. A lot of people fled the pits. It will be an incentive, buddy. Even to me could be convicted for 20 years. Me, Lord Agbavor, village boy, who am I? It is a greater incentive. Everybody must rejoice. Never gonna do any young body. But mo got down to me, Mona Marana Severa, but do he party Matoita. Never end this Tora Jagogba, you put Gojaja, he should go. No matter who galam say you put gari and your Lord Agbavor, much you have nava, nyara benefit. I have not benefited in any way. Kakana mama glitch yada, a glany bada. Ye madohi, brother chof malo share chof my no. That person is indirectly killing me.
Yeah.
So let us approach this discussion holistically. You know, let's approach it with the nation in mind. Not parties, this partisan football we continue to play. No, it is not helping this country.
Council, me edakpe de Agbator hata. Nyata fonya kaya no asio na enye kula nyenya selole ga popo ya mekude sepe wono no.
Baraku majema dakpe na gba nyafa dopa. Management and all of you. Madakpe na mi to monkpokwa ke miena. Be miava asro mi ogba. E majema dakpe na miafa turo la mashame ke akpo yi agble yi de miata le radio bo ma le phone ji mo le Facebook, Twitter and all the other social media platforms. I want to salute all of you for being with us from the beginning to this far. Ka assurance ke majema na mashame na ba maudi ye mon pokpo galia. I will continue to come so we discuss the law. Me, I'm a lawyer. This is what puts food on my table. This is what butters my bread. Kakana nyaba du koma vio onyola sama ye nanoli mo jojo mo de nya agbao adidivie because ale anyado janami oba nya yu ne kota anyado ta na datuma akpo ba nyaba do hia amado senwo go ma vie ko na mama jo ta ma biabe let's continue to create these opportunities so we can educate ourselves. By so doing we can lessen the crime rate in Ghana. Not just crime, and Gadelia will be able to avert them. I'm grateful, profoundly grateful for this opportunity. God bless this company, and my biaba will continue to grow in might and in strength. A couple of years to come, perhaps when we are talking about some of the, the best stations across this should be among the first three. I'm grateful. God bless you.
All right. Council, me edakpe nyaselo emanye miafa lawyer ganwo do motore kacho akachi South Nuto amenye lawyer Lord P Agbavor Junior iko garemia do megba ikemi lenkure untumi fe de demo pakple the tribunal ike medidi gofia duplola asidege bio mate ike wa trozu ese meda akpeni abale ike memiasia o garemia jende meda akpene Jonathan Dokanu hamba ye ha egere emiaji ameyo katanko ne eyo denu wona me Jose Natural Homeboy the whole charge of Unity avege Robert Fred Sammy John Frederick Almighty Hero and Prosper kpala meyo katane kpere nu nyele gbatom DJ Azaro DJ Neji and then Banzi and then DJ Dana Boy eda kpene miyo katande egbato hata so me benya selo miase egbato refia